tell you Detective Gephardt, who was part of a fraternity in his day, had a very good understanding and working knowledge of how the fraternity system works, which allowed us to be able to truly put this case together. So with that, I'd like to have Diane Dhanens come up. I know that she has a comment that she wants to make, and I also would ask the media to refrain from any questions of Paul and Diane, because they're not in a position today to answer those questions.
Thank you. I have been praying for the fraternity brothers since the first time that we met at St. Agnes Hospital while my son Philip lay brain dead in his hospital bed. Every day I ask Philip to pray for them. The fraternity brothers need to be young men of courage and integrity in order to speak truthfully about the events during the evening that led to Philip's death. This way, all of us as a community can continue to effect change regarding the widespread problem of alcohol poisoning and hazing, all in the hopes of protecting our young college students. Thank you.
We will answer any questions that we can today for you.
Can you tell us where 24-year-old Karen and 22-year-old Daniel, are they from Fresno?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. Chief, do you know?
Mike? Gephardt, do you know?
Billy? Terrence?
No, I don't have that information.
Sorry, don't know.
Get that information, though,
We can get that.
What about changes to come to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again? I know this is the second time it's happened.
Well, one thing we do know for sure is that Fresno State University did close the fraternity, and that is the first step in the right direction. I know that Fresno State had taken some steps in advance through some of the policies that they have set forth in terms of what the regulations are for fraternities, and so those continue to be in place. And unfortunately, some individuals out there will push the envelope, and I believe that's what we saw from the Theta Chi fraternity. Even though there were policies in place and even though there were regulations in place by the university, they still did what they did. And I think there needs to be more work that should be done by the university as well as the fraternities within our community to prevent things like this from happening again.
Was part of the investigation on the police side and the district attorney side to look at the university and what responsibilities they had, and could they face charges in the future, or are they?
Under the penal code, we didn't find anything to charge the university. There are education codes and there are civil remedies that will probably be pursued in that direction.
Yeah, can you tell us what the exposure is on a 645-6A?
It's 1 year maximum in custody and up to $5,000 fine.
So are there considerations given to filing a felony case?
Yes, serious consideration and a thorough research of the law and the previous litigation in California and nationwide. California felonies have been charged. To our knowledge, there have only been misdemeanor dispositions in the cases. And we seriously, and we took a long time, and that's what was so good about this investigation. It was very thorough, and we really deliberated on the charging in this case and feel that the misdemeanor charges are appropriate, hold them accountable for their actions and conduct in this case, in these particular facts.
How about some of the other fraternity members who were involved in one way or another in party planning?
Well, you know, that was another consideration, and we deliberated. Under the statute, it is broad. We could charge even the other participants, the minors or the adults. And just under the totality of these circumstances, we charged the 3 that we felt provided the alcohol and were most accountable, put themselves out as in charge and responsible. And we thought that is the message that we want to send. Thankfully, the Dhanens family is helping. You know, they're speaking to other students and high school students, and they're going to help in the message. But our message is clearly, you held yourselves out as responsible, you provided this environment and the alcohol, and you'll be held accountable.
How disappointed are you that you weren't able to bring felony charges?
I don't know if it's disappointed. I'll be disappointed if we can't get this word out and stop some of this preventable behavior that, you know, ends in the loss of a wonderful human being at the beginning of his, you know, basically his life. So I'll be disappointed if we can't reach the university, the Greek system, the fraternity system, and the individual students. But as far as these particular defendants, they have no criminal history. They were part of an organized group, and they made just very, very poor choices that they'll be held to answer for.
For the investigation concerned, did our data kind of been helpful or not?
There were different levels of cooperation of the pledges that were there that evening. 3 of them refused to provide a statement to our investigators. They kept very good records of things that were occurring during the course of that evening. I think it was after the fact for the purpose of satisfying perhaps their national chapter. But we would have hoped for a higher level of cooperation from the fraternity. It is my hope that through this investigation and through this prosecution that we are able to change a culture within fraternities. This thought or this premise that there has to be consumption of alcohol in order to be initiated into a fraternity has to stop. The alcohol consumption is not social drinking. It is binge drinking. It is drinking to the excess. It is encouraging individuals that are 18 years and 19 years of age to consume alcohols to the degree where they pass out, where they get sick, that they vomit, and in this case, we have a loss of life. That culture has to change within the fraternities, and it has to change at our university. And I know that we're all in agreement on that. And we are hopeful that the loss of Philip Dhanens is not in vain, that at least the loss of his life can cause a change in this culture to where we can eliminate these types of events in the future.
Not just alcohol either. I mean, I've seen deaths with overdose of water, essentially.
Yeah, it's any type of hazing or encouragement that occurs that is unhealthy, that is unsafe. That is what we have to get away from. Why must an individual prove themselves to be initiated into a fraternity? That is beyond reason, and we do not need that within our universities. Mark?
In this case, at this point closed, and first of all, with any degree of culpability left for